All right, let's kick off our journey into the solid principles of software design. And we're starting with the big one, the first one, the single responsibility principle. Honestly, if you want to write code that feels professional and is actually maintainable, this is where it all begins.
So, if you've ever found yourself staring at a massive, tangled-up class and just thought, where do I even start with this mess? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Because the fix, more often than not, starts with this one single, super powerful rule.
So let's just dive right in. What is the single responsibility principle? You'll hear people call it SRP. It's the S in solid, and getting a handle on this is really your first major step towards building better software.
At its heart, the idea sounds almost too simple, right? A class should have one job, just one. It should be in charge of a single piece of functionality, and that's it. But what does that really mean when you're writing code?
And here it is. This is the real test, the thing that actually matters. It's not just about what a class does, it's about why you would have to change it. If you can think of more than one reason you'd have to go in and edit a class, like you have to change some business logic, and you also have to change how errors are logged, then guess what? You're violating the principle. Just remember this mantra. One responsibility means one reason to change.
You know, these programming concepts can feel a little abstract sometimes. So let's ground this in a real-world analogy that I think makes it all click. Just imagine you're in a busy restaurant.
In any restaurant that actually works, the chef has exactly one job, cook the food. The cashier has one job, handle the money. You don't see the chef running out to swipe a credit card, right? And the cashier isn't in the back flipping burgers. Each person has a single, clearly defined role. And because of that, the whole system just works smoothly.
Now imagine if one person tried to do everything. Taking orders, cooking the food, taking payments, cleaning the tables, it would be total chaos. The whole operation would grind to a halt. It'd be messy, slow, and full of mistakes. And that, right there, is a perfect picture of what happens inside our software when we ignore this principle.
Okay, analogy time is over. Let's see what this actually looks like in code. We're going to look at a super common way this rule gets broken, and then we'll walk through how to clean it up.
So, how does that restaurant chaos actually show up in your code editor? That is a great question. And it usually appears in the form of something developers have a special name for, a God class. Okay, take a look at this order processor class. This thing is a classic offender. It's handling business logic, it's talking directly to the database to save stuff, and it's also in charge of logging errors. You see the problem? It has three completely different responsibilities all crammed into one place. This is an absolute nightmare to maintain. A small change to the database could accidentally break your logging. And here's the beautiful, clean solution. We just broke that God class up. Now we have an order service that only cares about business logic. We have an order repository that only deals with the database, and a logger that, well, it only logs. See, each class has exactly one reason to change. It's so much better, right?
So we've covered the what and the how, but let's get to the most important part, the why. Why should you even bother separating everything like this? Well, the benefits are huge. First off, your code becomes so much cleaner and easier to read. When you see a class named Order Repository, you know exactly what it does, without even looking inside. That makes maintenance an absolute breeze. Need to change how orders get saved? You know exactly which file to open. This separation also leads to way fewer bugs, because a change in one area is much less likely to cause some weird, unexpected side effect somewhere else. And finally, your whole system becomes more scalable, because you can improve or even replace one part without having to rewrite everything.
Now, as you start to put this into practice, just be on the lookout for a couple of common traps. The biggest one, like we saw, is that God class that just tries to do everything. But also watch out for mixing responsibilities even on a smaller scale. You know, like a class that both formats a report and emails it. That's two different jobs.
All right, let's bring it all home. I know a lot of you are learning this stuff to ace your technical interviews. So when the interviewer leans in and asks you to define the single responsibility principle, what's the killer answer? This is it. This is the line you need to have in your back pocket. Sure, you could say one responsibility per class, and that's fine. But saying a class should have only one reason to change, that shows you get it on a much deeper level. It proves you understand how to actually apply the principle in the real world. So let's just lock this in one final time. This little formula is all you need to remember. One class should have one responsibility, which means it has one reason to change. As you're coding, just ask yourself, does my class follow this formula? If it does, you're on your way to writing really solid professional code. So we've just nailed the S in solid, but we're just getting started. Next up, we're going to tackle the O, the open/close principle. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it as we keep building up your skills to become a true software architect. Thanks for joining me.